When a man from Wolverhampton was convicted of causing death by dangerous driving after his car hit a pedestrian, part of the prosecution case was that he couldn't see properly out of his vehicle. The court was told that the windows were tinted beyond the legal limit and there were 8 air fresheners and soft toys hanging from the driver's rear view mirror. Now, we've all seen cars with kind of cushions and clothes in them, but how dangerous is it? Could you be convicted of a driving offence because of what you've got hanging in your windscreen? Let's speak to Joseph Kotrie-Monson, a solicitor with a motoring specialism at Mary Monson Solicitors, which have got offices in Corporation Street in Birmingham. Joseph, good morning.
Good morning, Pete.
Is it illegal to have things hanging in your window?
Well, I think we need to start by placing this all in some context, and that's that what we have here is a senseless and tragic accident in which a well-loved and highly respected university lecturer was killed, not intentionally, but by careless driving, not dangerous driving. Sorry to correct you about that. That is to say, a standard of driving that is below the standard expected of a careful and competent driver in law. We're not talking about wanton, reckless, or drunken or otherwise aggravated driving. We're talking about effectively a motoring mistake. The phrase that's often used in magistrates' courses where the basic offence of careless driving is prosecuted, it is often a lapse of concentration, and that may well be what we were looking at here. Of course, the prosecution, as part of their case, suggested that one of the contributing factors may have been these items, and of course anyone who's ever had a car wash will know that every time you go for a car wash at some hand car wash places, an air freshener will be placed, a grotesque smelling pine air freshener, usually, if my memory serves me correctly, on your rear view mirror. The reality is here that although there is a duty to in law to make sure that your car is in a safe condition under the construction and use framework, the reality is that here, that's not what that person was charged with. It was death by careless driving. It was to do with the standard of the driving. The prosecution said that was these items or whatever were a factor, but the reality is here we can't go behind the jury's verdict. All they know is they found the defendant guilty in respect of the standard of the driving.
No, I understand that. So it's not illegal to have these things hanging in the window?
Well, as I said, there are rules related to the way in which a car should be maintained in a safe way if it's to be driven under the construction and use framework. Having said that, both the items that were hanging in the rear view mirror, which appear to have accumulated over some time with each new car wash, and of course there were some other items, but let's focus on those particularly. And of course the fact that there was the police said that they did tests and found that the car window was at least slightly tinted, and the rule says that you can have a maximum of a 25% tint on the front windscreen. None of that, however, would have been picked up by an MOT. And isn't it crazy? And most people listening to this, I'm sure, would find it crazy that an MOT test, which is something that is designed to, we all think, assess the safety of a vehicle before it's passed for a year on the road, there's no test for the windscreen. It's an offence, but it's not something that's checked. And I find that senseless. Especially if it may have contributed. It is.
It is. Of course, as you say, it's unbelievable almost that it isn't included in the MOT. Joseph, thanks very much. Joseph Kotrie-Monson, solicitor with a motoring specialism. 7 minutes to 8.